Welcome to this mini course to help you understand what epigenetics is, along with Nutrigenetics, Nutrigenomics, and epigenetics performance coaching. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Jamie Shopka. I'm a certified epigenetic performance coach and the founder of SZENNX. My passion is finding that natural, actionable connection between where you are right now and where you know you are meant to be. All in good health, being well nourished, meaning finding those foods that are fit for you, for your lifestyle, for your ambitions, for your goal that allow you to thrive in what you want to do and what you want to become. Being well fit, finding that physical activity that doesn't feel so much like a chore, but just is naturally allowing you to move your body and feel fantastic and giving you that energy that is inside of you and you know you've got. All of this being well defined, knowing exactly who you are with abundant self love and doing it for yourself for the greater good, all for your whole well being. What is epigenetics? So before I can dive into what epigenetics is, I have to start with our DNA. That's what epigenetics starts with, so it makes sense. Our DNA, or our deoxyribonucleic acid, if you're remembering from middle school, high school, when we learned about our DNA, this is where our genetic code exists. This code is an instruction manual for our bodies, and it's hereditary, meaning it passes from parent to child. This is our ancestry lineage, and our DNA does not change. It stays as it is. A section of the DNA is our gene code. The gene code is how each gene knows how to express to create the certain proteins that make us who we are and help us thrive in our life. So gene expression then refers to how and or when that protein is created from the DNA instructions. How do our genes know what and when to express? You need something to read that gene code, to allow it to express. And this is where epigenetics comes into play. And this is where it gets fascinating. Epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and what you expose yourself to in your environment can cause changes that affect the way your gene works. So your lifestyle, such as your habits and routines, daily routines, diet and nutrition, the foods you choose and not choose to eat, have a big factor in which genes are going to be transcribed. And your physical movement or lack of, stress exposure, toxins you encounter in your surroundings, your water, the air you breathe, and your positive and negative self-talk. So this comes into play of who you're exposing yourself to. What kind of people are you allowing in your personal space? So your environment will trigger or activate the gene to turn on, to turn into a certain protein and do certain functions. If it's not expressed, then it is not turned on and it's not doing any certain function. Okay, you've probably figured it out by now. Epigenetics is in our life every day, everywhere. The foods you decide to eat and not eat, your nutrition, how well nourished you are, plays a major role in epigenetic alterations and how your genes are transcribed. But also the air you breathe, what you hear, your self-talk, that stress and sleep quality, physical movement, sunshine exposure. All of this can cause chemical modifications that alter how your genes express. And all of this is what makes us who we are. Epigenetics is what makes each one of us individually unique. Certain factors in life, in our lifestyle, in our routines, our habits, can cause genes to be turned off or on. We've talked about this. And some genes may lie dormant in the body or become altered by epigenetic factors that then cause genes to be expressed or not expressed. Our lifestyle plays a major role in who we become. And in 2005, there was a team of Italian researchers that provided the first concrete evidence for the role of environmental epigenetics in explaining why twins with the same genetic background can have vastly different disease susceptibilities. The researchers showed that at birth, pairs of identical twins have similar epigenetic patterns, including DNA methylation, histone modifications. However, over time, the epigenetic patterns of the individuals become different, even in twins. Obviously, they're living their own lives. So since identical twins are the same genetically, the differences are a result from a combination of different environmental influences, environmental impacts that each individual experiences over a lifetime. We can't have the same exact experience and the same exact environmental exposures. Although they will be similar, we still have our very individual, unique life experience. Our DNA does not change, nor does our genetic code, but epigenetics, that's reversible. And this is good news. This is how we take control and take back our power. So our DNA, our genetic code, that's the way it's going to be. You'll have your blueprint in front of you if you have your genetic blueprint run. And working with me, your coach, it's the epigenetics that will allow certain genes to be expressed. Turning on the genes we want to turn on to get you into that lifestyle where you're going to thrive and do all the amazing things you want to do, and turning off those that are going to hold you back from that dream, that purpose that you feel you are here to accomplish. So epigenetics does control genes through both nature and nurture. An ongoing question of, is it nature versus nurture? It's a little bit of both. So obviously, when it comes in terms of nature, epigenetics is what determines a cell is going to be a skin cell or a blood cell, a hair cell, liver cell, the color of your eyes, etc. As a baby develops and that gene expression is active or some of it silent, while nurture is the environmental stimuli that can cause genes to be turned off or on. And this is how epigenetic coaching comes into play. So be empowered by this. Look at this from a whole systems perspective and take a step back. Do a self-awareness analysis. Everything I do in my life is going to influence genetic expression, the expression of me. From the time I wake up, the exposure to sunlight I give myself, if I choose to work out or not, if I lift weights, if I go for a run, if I decide to sit all day in my work and my job behind the computer, the people I'm interacting with, what I'm being influenced through real life interactions, as well as on social media and on my phone and my self-talk. A big, big impact, the food I'm choosing to eat for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, for snacks. I am affecting the genetic expression of me no matter what. Take that in mind and realize that you are actually in charge of your DNA. So now we know epigenetics is the study of how your environment, your behaviors, your lifestyle, your routine, what you eat, how you move, your toxic exposure, lifestyle stress, how it all impacts your genes and how your genes express themselves to make you who you are. When it comes to epigenetic performance coaching, this is the understanding of how this epigenetic works, and all of this comes together as we strategically make our daily lifestyle, our meal and snack guide, the foods we're going to include, the supplementation, to optimally influence gene expression to allow you to thrive and grow in the way you want to do. So becoming that person that's well-nourished and well-fit, well-rested, physically moving in the way that you absolutely know you can do, and managing stress so you can adapt and thrive under modern environmental pressures. So let's go a step further. Nutrigenetics and Nutrigenomics. Starting with Nutrigenetics, this is the study of how your genes impact your nutritional needs. An example of this is how your body converts beta-carotene to retinol, which is the active form of vitamin A in the body. So here's an example report that shows the gene propensity of having a low conversion rate from beta-carotene to retinol. So I, as your epigenetic coach, will then base your meal and snack guide considering that if you're having a high diet that includes a good dose of plant, sources, plant-based meals, vegetables, that's fantastic. However, with this low conversion rate, you will need some higher sources of vitamin A. So beta carotene is converted to that retinol, that active form of vitamin A in the body, in the small intestine. It is then stored in the liver. So when we eat animal sources of vitamin A, a lot of it is found, a high dose, I should say, is in beef liver or chicken liver. Now, if that's not something that you're looking to include in your diet, obviously, we will not do that. We will go ahead and find some supplementation as well. Cod liver oil is a fantastic source of this active form of vitamin A. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, we'll work with this and try to do our best to find where you could get a good source of vitamin A and a multivitamin. Now, something also to consider, if you are a vegan or a vegetarian, you very well might not have a low conversion. You might have a fantastic conversion rate from beta carotene to retinol. So this is why each individual is super unique. And this is why the epigenetic and the genetic results really help in gauging and guiding us and finding that individualized meal and snack guide that's very much oriented toward what your lifestyle and what your goals are. Nutrigenomics is how the nutrients in different types of food change genetic expression. I love this because it means taking certain herbs to upregulate certain enzymes that change metabolism. As an example, and my favorite, all-time favorite, is extra virgin olive oil. It is an epigenetic modulator in such a fantastic way with so many downstream benefits. I encourage everyone to include an extra virgin olive oil into their eating routine daily and make sure it's a pure source, ultra premium, 100% extra virgin olive oil. And the wonderful thing about olive oil is that it can come in different flavors, robust and mild. You have that peppery, that little bit of a peppery bite as you feel it in your throat. That's the polyphenols activating in the olive oil as you're swallowing it. And that is what's going to keep your longevity, your aging in a slower process. It's going to benefit you on so many different levels. Even olive oil, studies have found that it puts your body into a calorie deficient state. Fascinating and interesting. So thanks for watching this mini course, and hopefully you have a better understanding of how epigenetics works, along with nutrigenetics and nutrigenomics. And if you are interested in having your genetic blueprint run, contact me at SZENNX.com. You can swipe that little QR code as well, and we'll get started. You could get started by ordering right there on my site a full comprehensive genetic report with epigenetic coaching, and I'm here to assist you and guide you through the way with actionable steps on how to improve and uplevel your life. Let's get started.